Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. What is up, ladies and fellas, and welcome back to the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey, and it's finally time for another structure deck episode. So today we're going to be playing Machina Mayhem, which Jeexx is going to be piloting, as well as Dragunity Legion, which I'm going to be playing. So let's take a look at what these decks have in store. And this is a structure deck episode, and I don't want to be talking about all the individual cards, just a couple of the most powerful, and then like general playstyles. This shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. So Machina Fortress is going to be like the main boss in the Machina Mayhem structure deck. It can be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by discarding machine monsters whose level equal 8 or more to the grave, and this wording means that you can also discard itself. So if you have this in your hand, this and any other machine monster means that you can then special summon Machina Fortress. And then if it's destroyed by battle, you get to pop one of your opponent's cards. And then if your opponent targets a Machina Fortress with a monster effect, you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. 2500 attack as well, pretty easily. Special summonable, multiple good effects. Machina Fortress is just a complete package here. Gear frame there, mostly to add it in the hand. Scrap Recycler becomes very integral to the deck when we see another set of cards here. The Machina, like more generic stuff, isn't really that great. Cyber Dragon here is good though. And then the gadgets are what makes Scrap Recycler so good, because all of them are obviously level 4 Earth machines. And the like Machina gear frame as well as the gadgets make this deck just overall really consistent, because you have like so much searching, especially for the time. Cyber Valley is there also as well to protect yourself and then draw some cards. Prohibition becomes important because, as we'll see with the Dragunity, there are a couple very powerful cards there. You just have like individually good stuff like sort of Revealing Light. Machine Dupe you don't really have a way to make use of here. Solidarity, just a single Solidarity makes your Fortress absolutely humongous, and then you have good traps here as well, like Deprison and Compulse. So the deck just has a lot of stuff here. It's very consistent, and I feel like that'll be like, I think this is like the first time when I feel like the structure decks are really closely matched in power. But in the Dragunity Legion, these don't have extra decks, so we don't have the Dragunity extra deck cards, and we've seen a lot of these like Dogs and Legionnaire. We've seen already. I think Dark Spear as well. We've seen Tribute, we'll definitely see. But the ones that are new here definitely are Armor Leviatane and Armor Mistletoe. Mistletoe can be special summoned from your hand by sending a face-up Dragunity monster to the grave. And then when normal special from the hand, you can equip a Dragon type Dragunity from your grave. And then Leviatane being the big boss monster, importantly 100 points bigger than Fortress, and can be spell summoned from your hand or graveyard, just like Fortress, by banishing one face monster you control equipped with a Dragunity card, and then also can equip on normal special summon from the grave. And then also this has an effect where it sends to a graveyard by opponent's card effect. You can select one of the monsters that were equipped and special summon it from the grave if you'd like. Most of the stuff that you want to be equipping, actually you don't want to do that for, because the best one here is Atlas, which when sent to a graveyard equip that monster, you get a generic pop. Ready stock there to give you double swings as well. A Kamakuri there to also add some consistency in this deck, as well as Master Dragon. So just you get to recycle through these cards pretty well. Garuda is there if you want an extender, but since we don't really have extra deck plays here, I don't know if it's as important. Same thing with Twin-Headed Behemoth. Obviously you get to summon it from your grave, but you really do enough with that, I don't feel like. Then you have the on dragons level 3 and 5 here as well. And Dragon Reveed is the big consistency piece here, and we'll talk about this more detailed. I already have my deck built by the time I'm recording this, so I know I'm definitely going to be talking about this. Then we have some more power boosting here with these equips. Stampede Destruction here as spell trap removal. Importantly enough, the Machina deck actually doesn't have spell trap removal. Then we have just other good stuff like Creature Swap, Foolish Burial, card destruction to fuel your grave with the Dragon Tuners. Yaragarasu there if you want additional draws. And then like this deck also has super powerful traps like Mirror Force, Bottomless, even Miyabi and Icarus Attack, but more specifically. I'd like these being more specific, but these are like just individual power bombs, and that's why I talk about Prohibition being such a good card for the Machina deck. But yeah, those are the decks that we're going to be playing today, or working with today, and let's see what sorts of decks we can build from them. So we'll see y'all in the deck building section next.
Okay then, so we're back at it again with structure decks. It's been quite a while now. I think the last ones we did were like Spellcaster's Command and Warrior Strike. I'm not actually 100% sure about that. Let me just do a little bit googling real quick. Bada boom. Yeah, it seems so. Yeah, Warrior Strike seems to be the last one that I played. Yeah, we're back, and honestly, these two, Dragunity and Machina, are overall pretty strong. I'd say that out of all the structure decks that we've had so far, these are maybe the strongest. Machina has honestly one of the strongest boss monsters of that time period, which is Machina Fortress, because Machina Fortress can just be spammed out consistently, and there's also a lot of stuff that makes it way more consistent than it should be. Like the ability to summon Machina Fortress by discarding a gadget and Machina Fortress is huge. But yeah, for starters, we have Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is here mostly because it's a level 5. It's a pretty strong 2.1000 beats. Even now, there's not many cards in the game that can outright beat over it on turn 1 unless you get to go into a synchro play, and then it's you've already invested a lot of stuff to go into that. Cyber Valley, I don't remember if this is the second time we're seeing Cyber Valley, but I didn't play it the first time that we saw it. I'm pretty sure about that. But basically, it allows you to, when it's targeted for an attack, banish it, draw 1 card, and end the battle phase. So it's basically a negate attack that replaces itself. Okay, it came out of Phantom Darkness, yeah. And on top of that, it also has an effect where you can banish 2 cards you control, which could be a gadget and Cyber Valley to draw 2 cards, which could be handy at some point. Green gadget, red gadget, and yellow gadget. They are the gadget package. They search for each other. Green gadget searches for red, red searches for yellow, and yellow searches for green. So basically, the idea is you just cycle these cards. Whenever you draw 1, you will now have 9 cards in hand. You will never completely be out of cards in hand. And then we have Machina Fortress. Machina Fortress is a level 7, 2.5000 beat stick that is fairly threatening. You can discard machine monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more. Then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand. Now this effect is weird because I don't think this counts as an effect. It doesn't count as a trigger effect, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's a replacement effect to a degree. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's worded in such a strange way. But yeah, this card is really good. This card is really powerful, and the first effect that you just that I mentioned, which is the special summon effect, it has the part from your hand or graveyard, which means you can discard Machina Fortress and another machine monster that has 1 level to summon it from the graveyard. Because it's honestly fucking wild that they allowed that to be a condition for this card. Especially because you can't respond to it, because it's if you discard Machina Fortress and another card to the graveyard, you can't banish Machina Fortress from the graveyard because it's just immediately summoned, because the summon effect resolves once the discards happen. But yeah, and then we have Gear Frame. Gear Frame says when this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Machina monster from your deck to your hand, exit Gear Frame. So you use this to search for Machina Fortress or Peacekeeper that we have in here. Once per turn, you can either target 1 machine monster you control, equip this card to that card, or unequip this card and a special summon it. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. It's pretty good, I'd say. Like this card is a consistency booster on top of the fact that it also protects my Machina Fortress from stuff like Dragunity Legionnaire. And I think it even protects it from battle. Yeah, it protects from battle as well, so Leviathan can't just swing over it. Then we have Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper has the effect of when this card is on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one Union monster from your deck to your hand, which is Peacekeeper or Gearframe. Then you can target one machine monster you control, like this card to it, and give it a protection effect as well. Basically, these both are here specifically because there are cards in the set that fucking terrify me, like Legionnaire. Then we have Red Gadget, again, like I mentioned, part of the gadget package. Scrap Recycler. We saw this card in the Scrap episode that we played. I don't remember which set that was right now, but we both played Scraps, and I was worried that Weebfox is going to go for a super big brain play using Scrap Recycler and like Wise Man's Chalice. But it turned out I had not read Wise Man's Chalice properly. It's in your opponent's graveyard. But yeah, let's forget about that. I just wanted to mention it. Scrap Recycler allows me to dump a machine monster from my deck to the graveyard, which basically searches for Machina Fortress as well. Like, you can dump Machina Fortress and get, like, 2 gadgets from your hand to the graveyard. And then you can even use Scrap Recycler's shuffle 2 level 4 Earth machine monster from your graveyard into the deck and draw 1 card. That's honestly really good. I think this is a legitimately really good card for this deck. Yellow Gadget, again, gadget package. Frontline Base. Frontline Base is here purely because I might want to special summon Peacekeeper or Gearframe to protect Fortress. Prohibition. So while I was building this deck, I was tearing my hair out trying to figure out how to deal with Legionnaire, Icarus Attack, and at the very end of this all, Dragon Ravine. Because Dragon Ravine is such a big consistency booster for the deck that I had to figure out ways to deal with it without spell trap removal. And my answer was 3 Prohibition in the main deck. I'm just gonna name your removal tools and Dragon Ravine. Yeah. Good luck. But yeah. Then we have Solidarity. I don't think I need to explain what Prohibition does, but active by declaring 1 card name. Cards with that name and their effects cannot be used. Cards already on the field are not affected, including face down cards. So yeah, this was a card that we used back in like Pharaoh's Servant when Jinzo came out with Imperial Order. I had that super bizarre lock where I summoned Jinzo while Imperial Order was on the field. I activated Prohibition, and then I activated Imperial Order on my turn, and then I summoned... I activated Prohibition, named Jinzo, activate Imperial Order on my turn, special summon Jinzo using like Call of the Haunted or Premature Burial, and then, because I negate all spell traps now, or I negate all traps now, I negate Imperial Order, so Prohibition is now active, and thus Jinzo is on the field before Prohibition's effect is applied, so my opponent can't summon Jinzo now. I think that's the lock that we went with, and that's the rule. I think we also looked into it and we found that the ruling might not be correct, but we didn't like research it further. And recently we kind of talked about it on a stream while building this deck, and we ended up on like we ended up figuring out that that was actually the correct play, and that would actually work the way that it should, where it'll negate Imperial Order and Prohibition won't negate Jinzo, because otherwise, there'll be an infinite game state and Jinzo would be removed. But because Jinzo is already on the field before the effect is reapplied, it counts as Jinzo having been on the field before Prohibition was like played or activated or applied. Yeah. Solidarity. If you have only one original type of monster in your graveyard, all monsters you control of the same type gain any turn attack. It's pretty big. Like, this is the biggest way I can deal with cards like Leviathan and like the other beat sticks that Weebfox deck has. It even makes gadgets really threatening. I'm only playing 2 of them because I realized that drawing 2 of them in my opening hand is basically a death sentence. There's Swords of Revealing Light. Swords of Revealing Light is again a card we don't really need to talk about. Compulsory, bounce 1 monster on the field to the hand. Deprison, banish an attacking monster. Rare Melamorph. Now, to activate this card by targeting a machine monster on the field. While this card is facing the field, that monster gains 500 attack. Also negate the first spell effect that targets that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Roll out. Target 1 Union monster in graveyard. Equip the target to an appropriate monster you control for that Union monster's effect. So, roll out Gearframe on Machina Fortress, Gearframe on Gadget, Gearframe on whatever, and then just special summon Gearframe to get another swing in, for example, for game. That's kind of what I'm planning to use it for. Or just for protection, like quick protection, where I can, if my opponent activates an effect that's targeting Machina Fortress, I can just activate rollout, targeting Machina Fortress using Gear Frame or Peacekeeper, equip it, and then pop the Gear Frame or Peacekeeper, and I think that's pretty good. Cyber Rally, 2 of, frontline base, 1 hand destruction. Each player sends 2 cards from the hand to the graveyard and draws cards, 2 cards. Machina Armored Unit, once per turn, when a machine monster destroys a balance into the graveyard, you can special summon to your graveyard. Special summon 1 monster from your deck that has the same attribute and less attack than that destroyed monster in the graveyard. A third copy of Solidarity, a third copy of Sword Revealing Light, 2 more copies of Rollout, and Time Machine. When a monster destroyed by battle sent to the graveyard, special summon that monster to the same field it was on, in the same battle position it was in when destroyed. So yeah, that about does it. I think this is a fairly interesting matchup because outside of the fact that Dragon Ravine basically completely takes the game over, I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll either be a complete shitstorm for Weebfox when he draws Dragon Ravine, or an interesting back and forth. We'll see how it goes. Anyhow, good luck with the games.
And guys and gals, here's what we are playing today. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the cards and see what they do. So, I already talked about this in the set breakdown, but Leviathan is going to be our big boss monster. 2600 can be special summoned by banishing from your field a face-up monster that has a Dragunity card equipped. And then on normal or special summon, you also get to equip a Dragon type Dragunity from your grave. And then also when it's sent to a grave by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Dragunity that was attached to it, equipped to it. Sorry. I lost my train of thought there for a while. But Atlas being our best equip here and it having a effect when it goes to a grave, we probably don't care about the floating. But what's also important here is you can special summon it from your hand or graveyard, so you can keep recurring it. Then we have 2 copies of Mistletoe, which is slightly smaller. It can be special summoned by sending a face-up Dragunity monster to the grave. So we can just, if push comes to shove, we can just normal something like Legionnaire or Dux, and then just pitch those in the grave, or even normal something like Brandistock or Atlas to get Mistletoe on the field to have like a bigger monster. And then on normal special, you can select a Dragon type Dragunity in your grave and equip it to this. It's just a simple, good beater that is very easy to get on the board. Then we have 3 Dragunity Legionnaire being one of the best cards in the deck, and I'll actually talk about Legionnaire Atlas and Dragon Ravine like here simultaneously. So we've already seen Legionnaire on normal summon. You can target a level 3 or Dragunity, Dragon Dragunity in your grave to equip it to this card, and you can send a Dragunity from your spell trap to the grave to pop one of your opponent's face monsters. And Atlas, when normal summoned, you can special a Dragunity with from your hand and then equip it to this card. So these, if we already have Atlas in the grave, we can just go for Legionnaire to get it there. If we have Legionnaire in hand, we can normal Atlas to special summon Legionnaire and then still get the equip, because Legionnaire's own normal summon effect equips from grave. And then when Atlas is sent to the graveyard from the field when equipped to a monster, you get to select 1 card on the field and pop it. Not interestingly, but importantly enough, this is a mandatory effect. So if the only legal targets are your own, you need to pop those still. But I'll explain Dragon Ravine here as well. You probably know Dragon Ravine is one of the more like generically powerful and just common field spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! But what's better, you're gonna ditch. I wanted to say pitch and discard at the same time, so it became ditch. You can discard a card to activate one of the effects, where you either add a level 4 lower Dragunity from your deck to your hand, or you send a Dragon monster from your deck to your graveyard. Usually it's this, but obviously in Dragunities, this is what we're looking for. And the reason why this is so powerful is this creates a loop for us with Dragunity Legionnaire, as long as we have enough of them, where we can discard Atlas from our hand for Ravine, or anything really, but preferably Atlas. We add Legionnaire, then we can normal summon Legionnaire to equip Atlas and use Legionnaire's effect to get 1 monster pop and 1 whatever pop. And then on the following turn, whatever card we draw doesn't really matter, because we can use that for fuel to discard for Ravine to add another Legionnaire, and then we can equip the same Atlas that we had, and then we can do the same thing all over again. And then next turn we can do it the 3rd time. And for the time, like having this like 3 turns to be able to get 2 pops per turn, and that is not counting all of our really powerful back row. It's really good. And the whole reason why I'll explain this here now. The reason why I have Monster Reincarnation in my side is because this essentially means that we get to do Legionnaire pops even more. Like, most of the time, this would just be adding Legionnaire back to our hand from the grave, which essentially means that this is for one time another Legionnaire. So we basically, if we decide to sign into these with Ravine, we get to do 5 turns of double pops, which is insanely powerful. Then we have Ducks. Ducks we've also seen. It's just a big beater that equips on normal summon from grave. We already talked about Atlas, and the Brandystock is just here because Leviathan needs something to be specifically equipped. So we just want to have some more equips, and out of the stuff that was in the structure deck, since we don't do Legacy Rule for the structure deck episode, I figured Brandystock was the best thing, because Brandystock on something like Leviathan or even Mistletoe is actually like decently good to just be swinging. 3 Flying Kamakiri, this just to filter through our deck. It can summon anything out of our deck, except for the 2 big Dragon Boss monsters, so it's really good at thinning that and just finding the stuff we need. A single Dragon Mastery, this is mostly here because the 500 attack boost for Dragunities equipped with any cards is actually pretty integral, because the problem with Legionnaire is probably our, like, I mean, obviously Ravine, but like Ravine is by far most important card, but apart from that, it's like Atlas and Legionnaire, and Legionnaire by itself is very tiny, and the 500 boost that changes the dynamic between Legionnaire and the gadgets from Legionnaire only being able to crash with yellow and losing the green and red to Legionnaire now with Dragon Mastery actually being able to beat over all 3 of them. And it's just a one-off, which, you know, this second effect doesn't probably really come up, but it's just a one-off. Like, if it comes up, the 500 attack boost is nice, but we don't really need it. Dragon Review, we already went over. It's the lifeblood of the deck. Like, this starts all our plays. As long as we find this, like, we should be fine, because it just, the loop with Legionnaire Atlas is so powerful, and it's so fucked up that we have access to Ravine, and the Machina deck doesn't have any spell trap removal. So basically, the only way for Jeexx to get rid of this is to call it with Prohibition if he finds Prohibition before we find Ravine, or to ram his Fortress into something so that Fortress then dies in battle, which the only thing is Leviathan or a boosted Mistletoe, and then use that to pop Ravine. But even like then, he's losing a lot of resources for that. And we have, at that point, we've had the chance to at least use Ravine once, which is still like very good for Ravine. Is like by far the best card in our deck. 3-7 Destruction, like we have a decent amount of these like dragons. We can even, like, if need be, we can normal summon Brandystock or Atlas and then have them die to go to the grave, and then we can use them. But most of the time it'll be just Mistletoe or Leviathan being on the field, and then we can pop some spell traps. Like, the Machina deck also has access to really powerful back row like Deprison and Compulse, and in addition to that, like, this can also be used to pop Prohibition if like Jeexx manages to find that and calls Ravine before we get to Ravine, because obviously, like, by all means, like, we need to get to Ravine for this deck to run. Then we have 2 Foolish Burial. I have a third one in this side if I feel like going for it, just to pitch the Dragunity tuners, mostly Atlas, into grave. A single card Destruction, another one here. This is mostly there for us to as consistency boosting, because we just want to fuel our grave with the Dragunity tuners, obviously, but on top of that, we just really want to find stuff like Ravine, so card Destruction can help us get there. But obviously also, like, Jeexx having access to Scrap Recycler means that even like gadgets hitting the grave isn't too bad for him, and Fortress being able to be also summoned from the grave means that we don't really want to be helping him with this. It's mostly there just to consistently boost us, but I don't feel too confident about like putting multiple copies of it in the main deck, because it also helps Jeexx a decent amount. A single Windstorm of Attack Pop, another one in the side. This is mostly here because if we don't manage to find Ravine early, chances are that we get overwhelmed by gadgets, because there are more consistency cards in the Machina deck, but like obviously Ravine being reoccurring consistency that doesn't lose our causes our normal summon, unlike gadgets for Jeexx, means that it's more consistent. But like something like gadgets, they are so plentiful, and there is a chance that we get swarmed early if we don't find our pieces. So when the Storm of Attack can either buy us a turn from like multiple gadget swings and save us from life points, or the other thing is that a solidarity boosted fortress becomes insanely big. So at that point, if we don't find our like removal stuff, like the way to actually deal with it is then to put it in defense and swing over it. But this is more of here as a like desperation card. 3 Mirror Force, insanely powerful trap. Obviously, like dealing with multiple gadgets with this, or dealing with something like Fortress, because then it doesn't get dealt with by a monster effect or by battle, so it just clean gets destroyed. It's a really powerful. It's probably our best trap overall. Very close though is Bottomless Trap Hole. This is here to either pop, what's his face? Gear Frame to prevent Jeexx from going into Fortress, or then preferably just getting rid of Fortress this way, because obviously banishing it means that he can't bring it back from the grave. So this the best thing obviously to deal with this is Fortress. 2 Icarus attack, 1 more in the side. Insanely powerful, like being able to tribute a Winged Beast to pop 2 of any card is obviously really good. We go 2 for 2. But the problem and the reason why I'm only running 2 of these is our only Winged Beast are the 6 Dragunity Duxin Legionnaire that we have. And then we have 2 Miyabi, not as great. Like obviously sending something like Fortress to the bottom of the deck is really nice, because that way we get rid of it without destroying it, and then Jeexx not being able to bring it back, so he then has to find it again with stuff like Gear Frame. And also it takes a Wind Monster, which our deck is full of, instead of like specifically a Winged Beast monster, which makes it more flexible. As for the side deck, we have a 3rd copy of Brandistock, just so if I feel like I need more tuners. Not tuners, the Dragunity cards, sorry. A single Behemoth, if we just want more bodies on the field. A 3rd copy of Foolish, a 2nd copy of Card Destruction. 2 Mage Power, since I didn't end up putting United We Stand here, since like we have so many good traps that we'll probably have sitting there, and also having access to a field spell that Jeexx literally cannot pop except by 1 mean after it gets activated. So Mage Power in general is just going to give us more value. And also, like, obviously having the Dragunity equips also kind of spell traps. So these are just good power boosting if we feel like that's what we need. 2 creature swap, I don't really, these are just basically here because they're good cards, but I didn't want to main deck them, because the more I think about it, like initially I like threw 2 of these in, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that the only thing that I'd really ever want to creature swap is Fortress. And if I don't then win the game there, if he gets his own Fortress, like obviously he would then lose 2 Fortresses into grave, but like if he crashes the 2 Fortresses, both of them go to his grave and he gets the 2 pops, which we don't really want to give him that. 3rd copy of Icarus Attack, 7 Itakwa, and then finally I didn't really know what to put in here, so I just put 3 Legacy of Yatagarasu. And the reason for this is if we end up going for something like Monster Reincarnation, so we then have that loop with Dragon Reveal. Like that's a lot of stuff we're discarding, so Legacy of Yatagarasu being there to what's face? Being there to just draw us into additional cards, also give us more consistency to be able to find those cards is nice. And something like Bottomless just existing, or even Icarus deck and Miyabi when their conditions are met, means that Jeexx can just blindly always be like, yeah, I'll just go into Fortress, no big deal. So having more traps just laid out means that he has to consider the fact that we might have a bottomless set. And obviously him not being able to pop these back row means that we can even sit on something like Legacy of Yatagarasu for a couple turns before we flip it when we need the draws to like discourage going into Fortress. But yeah, sorry, that ended up being a lot still, like, even though, like, I think, like, over half of the cards here are cards that we've already seen. I'm actually very happy with this deck, and I think, like, it'll perform probably pretty well. It's basically just, like, It's just if we get to Dragon Ravine and we have like decent consistent boosts like Kamakir being able to go through our deck, even something like card destruction if we need that. Is like we have decent ways to getting through our deck. Nothing crazy, like we don't have gadgets, but like as long as we get to Dragon Ravine, like the plays that we can make with even like just as I described, like just with Legionnaire and Atlas are just so powerful for the time. So I'm very excited to be playing this. Dragunity is like I've established earlier, Dragunity I think is one of the cooler archetypes in the game. I'm sad that there are no synchros here, but we'll certainly see those appear back in the future. So hopefully enjoy the games, and I will see you all in the dueling zone next. What is up, ladies and lads, and welcome back to History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and it's been a little while since... it's been a little YCS, probably somewhere. A little while since we've done one of the structure deck episodes, so that's what we are doing today. So I'm going to be playing the Dragunity structure deck, and Jeexx is going to be playing the Machina one. And Jeexx, how do you feel about today's episode?
Well, I sure do hope that a Deus Ex Machina drops in so that I can actually win a single fucking match.
I'm actually surprised that you managed to pull off a pun there, because I wasn't expecting that this time around, because I feel like that's very hard. Nothing with Dragunities.
The legions of fans who watch these videos will know that I deserve this win.
All right. Sure. No. I don't even know what to say after that. I'll be honest. It's just yeah, sure. I'm 0 for 6 for coin flips. I feel like I'm due for a W, and oh my god.
Oh no! Oh no!
I have been blessed by the coin.
The going second deck is gonna go first.
Bro, I'm not trying to get triple prohibition flipped on me.
No.
Turn 1. Why did you link
me?
Why did you link me Funger to his pulse and anxiety?
This is the theme for today.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
All right.
That implies that you're the boss battle.
Oh, gotcha. Well, anyways, I think we will start our game by setting 3 and passing.
Okay.
It's notably funny, there is no spell trap removal in the Machina deck, which is... that's fun, I think.
Yeah, that's very fun. I like that a lot. It's very cool and enjoyable. I would like to summon Machina Gear Frame.
Yep.
And I would like to declare the effect of Machina Gear Frame to add a Machina monster from my deck to my hand.
That is fine by me.
Okay, no bottomless trap holes. Okay.
No bottomless here.
And then I would like to send to the graveyard Machina Fortress and Machina Peacekeeper to special summon Machina Fortress. Bottomless trap hole.
I think that's fine.
And then I would like to declare the effect of Machina Gear Frame, where I would like to move to the spell trap zone equipped to Machina Fortress to equip it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I would like to attack using Machina Fortress.
Yep, I got nothing here. 25 to the dome.
Then I set 2, and I pass.
Alright, well, that's awesome. Love to see that. I'm going to pass.
Alrighty then, chat room. We're gonna go standby main. We're gonna normal summon a yellow gadget to add to our hand a green gadget.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom. Then I would like to go to battle phase and attack.
How much is this? 3,700? Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then I would like to end my turn.
Can I draw a card? I don't like this. Really don't. Okay, well, we will set a monster because we finally found one of those. And yep, then I will pass my turn. This is exhilarating gameplay.
Alrighty then. Standby. Main.
Yep.
I would like to activate
Bottomless?
compulsory
Oh, no,
evacuation
yeah,
device
Yep.
to bounce this.
And now I need to check something. Which I probably should have checked. Before I did this. Oh, okay, it works. Okay, perfect. Well, I don't like this, but I would like to change your compulse. My wind art Miyabi, attributing this flying Kamakiri and sending Machina Fortress to your bottom of your deck.
That's the same ruling as with the curse attack, by the way. So yeah, it works out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just checking, like, oh yeah, can I do, you know?
Yeah.
Can attribute basically something that needs specific things when it's face down, because I know, like, you could fusion summon with face down stuff, but you couldn't synchro, right?
Yeah, because non-inherent forms of summoning work with that, whereas inherent forms of summoning don't.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna activate.
It works, but I'm not sure.
Prohibition, declaring mirror force.
Yep.
And then I would like to normal summon green gadget.
Yep.
To add to my hand red gadget.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And then I would like to special summon Machina Fortress by discarding a yellow gadget and a Machina Fortress.
Yep. Seems
and then
good.
I would like to go to combat. And would you like to activate Windstorm?
I got nothing here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I imagined that these matchups are gonna go, because the consistency there is scary, and my hand was just a whole lot of fucking nothing, unfortunately. I just drew bricks.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, let's go side for game 2. Well, that certainly was a game. Hopefully we can do something here. I just now noticed you're on 41 cards. Interesting.
Yeah, I had a clean 40 card deck, and then at the end of it all, I was like, bro, how the fuck do I fit these things in? And the answer was, I'm just gonna go for 41 instead of stalling it out and being like, well, I gotta have exactly 40 cards, guys. I gotta have exactly 40 cards with my 9 gadgets and a fucking gear frame and 3 Peacekeeper.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. We will do this here. So, Foolish Burial, Atlas Intergrave. I didn't ask if that's okay, because I'm pretty sure there's nothing you can do to interact with that from hand. So, I just sent Atlas there, and then I'll set up a bridge of sets and pass.
I go standby main. I'm gonna normal summon. Machina gear frame.
Never seen this before.
Machina gear frame. If that is okay.
Yep, I got nothing.
Okay. I add to my hand Machina Fortress, and I would like to special summon by discarding Machina Fortress in Cyber Valley.
Yep.
That is okay.
Yep, I got nothing there.
Okay. And then I'm gonna be for real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I should attack.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. Let's just do this. Let's move my gear frame over here
Yeah.
to equip to fortress, and then I would like to go to combat and attack into this.
Yeah. It is another flying Kamakiri.
Oh no!
So I will use that, and we will
Get another one.
get a wind with 1500 or less attack from our deck. And I think. I do think I'll just get another one of them.
Yeah, I think getting another one there is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set 3 pass.
Alrighty, well, draw standby main. 3 is a lot.
It's too many, I'm gonna be honest.
It's one of those is deep prison, or I mean even compulse is really fucking bad for me. We will go to a battle phase. Will we? It's like so fucking scary. No, we will go battle phase, and I will attempt to swing at Machina Fortress. Is that okay?
Think for a second.
Yeah.
You go Flying Kamakiri into Fortress. You can get another one if you want to, lose like another 1,100 life points, but I don't think that's going to happen. But what you can actually get from here is like Arm Dragon level 3, for example, but that's also not going to happen. You can get literally any of the Dragunity cards except the level 5, 6, and Leviathan. You can get Ducks, right? Ducks is 1,500 and gains 200 per, so it's 1,500. You can get Legionnaire, which is 1,200, which doesn't really matter because you can't use either of their effects because they're only on normal summon. And you can get Tribus or Tribus and send another Dragunity card to the graveyard, but that's useless. Don't even know what else you could possibly have other than like because Atlas is also a normal summon. Yeah.
The Agilus doesn't trigger on special.
Yeah, go
Also,
for it. Yeah.
Legionnaire and Ducks are both on normal summon as well.
Yeah,
It
that's
would be
why they don't
crazy if
matter.
it was on special.
If they were also on special summon, I think those cards would have been format defining.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll let this through.
Yeah. So Kamakiri goes to the grave. I take 1,100. And we'll go grab from our deck a... Where are you? Actually, should I be greedy? I'll get another Kamakiri.
He's doing it.
And then I would like to do that again.
Okay, go for it.
It would be so big brain here if this is where you're like, actually, fuck you.
Like, I don't see a reason to. Because the deck that I built does not benefit from this the way that you're doing it right now.
I gotcha. Then we will get...
But to be honest, I didn't play Miyabi's, so, you know.
Fair enough.
There's that too, so...
We will get a Dragunity Brandy stock.
Yeah.
Then we'll fire off Stampede Destruction because now I have a dragon, and I'll I'll just pop the middle one.
You'll just pop the middle one. That's kind of unfortunate. Because I kind of don't want that, I'll just bounce your ship back to hand.
Gotcha.
Then I don't even take the burn for this because it doesn't get destroyed.
Because it's if you do, but I think I will chain on that another Miyabi, and I would like to once again send this.
Yep.
Now we're both with one card in hand, but unfortunately, it's your turn.
I go standby main. I will normal summon green gadget.
Yeah, it's
Too
pretty
bad.
good.
Red gadget. And then swing.
Yep, I take 1400.
And then I set pass.
All right. Set back row pass.
I go standby main. I activate.
Don't do it.
I activate Prohibition, declaring Mirror Force. I'll normal summon red gadget to add to my hand a yellow gadget. And then I'll activate rollout, targeting my gear frame to equip it. And then I will special summon.
On the red gadget.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I still got one more turn.
And then I special summon gear frame from my spell and trap zone using a sound effect.
Yeah, this is too much damage, so this one I'll have to bottomless here.
And then we go face.
Yeah, 27. Nothing I can do about that.
And then Legionnaire.
Well, thou...
Ravine or Legionnaire here clears board.
I have something I can do here, but it's not pretty. Okay. Normal summon Atlas.
Yep.
And then that's special summon Levitate and equip this to Levitate.
Yeah.
And then it's specialed, so I guess
you get to equip the brandy stock, which is kind of huge.
I'll equip the other Atlas.
Okay.
Because I can't swing. Because if I swing one of those is deep prison, I'm just dead. Because Prohibition is fucking me over. I would get to pop these, but I know you have yellow gadget in hand. So I genuinely think, like, for the time being, my best bet is to just sit on this.
Yep.
Walling you, so I will just pass.
I go standby main. I'll normal summon yellow gadget to add to my hand, green gadget. And then I will set another card. And I will actually turn... That doesn't matter in this case, actually, right? Yeah, because the Legionnaire can't swing over yellow gadget, green gadget can't be swung over by Legionnaire, but Ducks can swing over all of these regardless of what position they are in. So I will simply pass. Because we're technically at a stalemate, right? Now, think about overlay, Gear Gigant, add.
You're so right. You're so right.
That would be big.
That would be big.
Legionnaire?
I think I'll just pass.
Okay.
The shitty thing is just you're thinning your deck way faster than I am.
Green gadget, red gadget. There we go.
Yep.
And I'm thinking for a second. To check something on a card that I have that I've not seen in a bit.
Yep. I feel like these games would be way different if I saw one of my Dragon Ravines like one of these years.
They would be significantly different. I will not lie.
But unfortunately, I have that one consistency boosting card, and you have fucking 12.
I have gadgets and gear frame and peacekeeper.
All right.
Ravine.
Normal summon Atlas.
Yeah.
Special summon Mistletoe, and
Yeah.
put equip Atlas.
Yeah. Wait, that misses timing, right? For when this card is normal or special summon. Wait, let me double check something actually. Yeah. Even Leviathan misses timing because it's when this card is normal or special summon, but the equipping for Atlas happens after it's been special summoned.
Okay,
so
yeah, then
you only
one of
have
these would be in the grave instead.
Yeah,
but you're right. Luckily, that didn't have time to affect anything. But you're right. So I can't equip the brandy stock from my grave, and that one equip shouldn't be on Leviathan. You're right. My bad.
Because that was something I was confused about as well when I was summoning Leviathan using Atlas. Like, wait, why didn't I get this thing? Because I want this thing.
Yeah. It's still okay. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's still fine. So I know you have red gadget in your hand. Problem here is if I swing and you have compulse and you have deep prison, then that sucks. But I do still think that I need to progress this somewhere because you're getting through the stuff way faster than I am. So I do think I will attempt to, and yeah, this one makes the most sense because this is Solidarity can't swing over, this will crash. So I will attempt to swing Mistletoe over green gadget here.
I will activate Dimensional Version.
Yeah, figured as much. So Mistletoe gets banished, and Atlas goes to the grave. And here I think I do get the pop since
you don't
there's nothing in the chain.
I don't think popping monsters in this position makes any sense.
Yeah, no way. I'm basically now thinking, would I rather have Prohibition gone or blindly shoot at one of your back rows is the thing.
If you actually have Mirror Force in this situation, I don't think it's even gonna matter because again, I can't attack, right? And you're gonna get another pop no matter what happens, right? Because you still have Leviathan with Atlas. So I would arguably just shoot blindly because the shoot blindly can be more detrimental to me than shooting my Prohibition. Because again, I can't attack no matter what happens. So shooting Prohibition and being like, well, I can activate Mirror Force now, but
I do think that's the play as well. And you know what? I'll throw the die for this one. So let's get rid of this here.
Alrighty then. It is Rare Melamorph.
Oh.
Which would have been with Solidarity.
Okay, I was gonna say like Solidarity and this would be scary, or if you just find the Fortress as well, it's also scary. But for now, like I mean, yeah, Fortress in your hand because I know you have the red would be enough. But yeah, I still don't feel safe with swinging with Leviathan, so I think we will simply pass and go.
Go. Oh,
if you actually could do Solidarity in your hand, like that would be crazy.
That would be fucking disgusting. Actually,
probably won't forget, but let me just throw this in the chat so we remember what Prohibition is called.
Red Gadget, search yellow Gadget.
Yeah, and then use
overland
all those
you
got to link summon into
Appaloosa. Use all three of.
Actually, Appaloosa would be big enough. It would be 3200. Yeah, you're right.
No, it just that's not. Oh, but hear me out. Yergigon, I search any level 4 or lower machine monster from my deck.
True, true, true.
Huge.
Or all of these are actually. Wait, did Rongomania need warriors specifically?
I think it does.
Oh, okay, can't go into Rongo Bongo. So yellow in
Just
your
gonna
hand.
double
So your
check that.
hand is yellow and
Yep.
something I don't know.
Something else, and I will end my turn there. Yeah, it's 2 or more level 4 or level 4 warrior monsters.
Yeah. I will just pass since.
Right. Because that I made.
No way you got
That's
double solidarity.
I'll pass.
Oh, okay. Okay. Normal summon Legionnaire. Is this okay?
That is okay.
Get Atlas. Use the effect of Legionnaire. To send Atlas. And Legionnaire himself can only pop monsters, and I think I want to go after this green gadget.
Before that, Atlas Chain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Atlas is first. You're right. Because, I mean, even if it wasn't first, it would even actually it would miss timing actually. So I think we'll just throw the die again. Let's get rid of this one.
Alrighty then.
Oh, okay, that's 2. And yeah, then I would like to target this one.
Would you like to go again?
What do
Would
you mean
like
go
to
again?
go again?
What do you mean?
You can send one Dragunity card on your spell and trap zones to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls to destroy that target. Would you like to go again? It's not once per turn.
That's kind of funny, actually.
See?
Okay, that's actually fucking hilarious.
See? Like, bro, there's a reason why this deck won for 2 hours straight.
I was kind of thinking of having it as a failsafe, but at this point, it's just one blind thing, so I actually think I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Atlas to the grave, and I will obviously target the last blind back. If that's the third deep prison.
Who dies? Because you need to pop a monster too.
And then I will, I'll just go for after the other green gadget. It was holy fuck. Because I was genuinely like, okay, I wouldn't have attacked anyway. Because I was like considering, I kind of want to keep it as a failsafe. Okay, I have gotten rid of 2 deep prisons. The likelihood of the last one being also deep prison is very low. But if it is deep prison, I just immediately lose. I don't think I would have attacked anyway. Now the question just is, what the fuck do we do?
I think you should just swing into a red gadget.
Your hand has
yellow gadget and 3 unknowns.
Yeah, I know that. Because I'm genuinely thinking of crashing with the yellow. I'm like genuinely considering it.
Hey.
Oh wait, I'm a fucking moron. Boopity scoop. I would like to special summon from my hand Mistletoe by using its own effect to send a Legionnaire to grave.
And then would you like to equip a Brandy stock?
I think I would like to equip my Brandy stock here.
Yes, and then I would like to lose how much life points?
Okay, so Mistletoe, we can just make the calculations easier. So we'll swing this here and this here for 1600, and then this for 1400. Then we'll go main 2, and now let's see if my greed hurts me for going this instead of taking the Atlas for the failsafe. Because I think that would have been actually the better play to leave the yellow gadget there, because even with Solidarity, it can swing over Mistletoe. So I think
I
this is
normal
the
summon.
greedy play.
Yellow gadget.
Yep.
And I add to my hand a green gadget. Then I will activate Swords of Revealing Light.
Yep.
And I'll activate Swords of Revealing Light.
Oh my fucking god.
Eat shit, Atlas!
That's pretty funny. All right.
I have to do this too, by the way, because if you draw a Legionnaire here, or anything that can equip it,
that's actually true. Or I mean, then that would obviously like take a turn for me and take a winged beast monster to get like something like Icarus attack, but that would also. For actually, wait, yeah. If I got actually, imagine I get a winged beast and Icarus attack, and then I just pop both of them. That would also be funny.
But that's still an Icarus attack that's used on those.
Yeah, it's definitely it's still decent for you.
Because Icarus attack is the best out for Machina Fortress that isn't like Legionnaire, and even Legionnaire is technically a -1. So
yeah. Obviously, if I don't have cards in my hand, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, I cannot attack. I'll just set a back row and I'll just pass and turn 1 on both swords. I was thinking like, what were you holding? I was kind of worried that in your hand, like you were like actually like holding a Solidarity and you were like waiting to get another one.
That would have been perfect, honestly, and I would have done that, but I did not get to.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think that's your last red, right?
It should be.
Yeah, yes. There is a yellow in your deck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I was like, because I don't think I know anything else but the red in your hand. Yeah. So red in your hand, and I don't know anything else, and you have yellow in your deck. That's scary, because
I would like to
drawing into gear frame. Not gear.
Special summon.
Oh. Fortress.
Machina Fortress.
Using the
bottomless.
red?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is where I get hurt for being greedy.
Do you? Do you get hurt for being greedy?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Do you want to swing is the question.
But... I mean, Mirror Force is gone.
Yeah, Mirror Force
is gone. So I can just swing into this. I can't destroy Leviathan, but Leviathan can come back if you just banish this thing. And even if you get another winged beast, I can still get fucked by that.
Leviathan being able to be summoned from the grave is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's like one of the big parts too, or like that was the first game plan that we thought of, like for Dragunity, which is well, you can always just recur Leviathan, and that's really big. And then we realized, well, you can recur Leviathan on top of the fact that you can keep just getting removal pieces, and your opponent can't play.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna swing into the Mistletoe.
Yeah, I got nothing on this, so to the grave it goes, and I take 400 here.
And then I would like to go to main phase 2 and simply pray. Legionnaire.
Another back row and 10 dual swords.
Okay. I would like to stand by main.
Mm-hmm.
Normal summon. Yellow gadget.
Yeah, and I don't think you have targets anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I would like to attack using Machina Fortress into the Leviathan.
Yep, I got nothing for this.
Machina Fortress dies,
and
I will destroy the Leviathan.
Yep.
This is okay. And then I would like to attack using Green Gadget.
Yep, I got nothing here. I have 2 Mirror Forces and a Icarus attack. This is how I imagined that this would go, because the Machina deck is just so insanely consistent, and the only consistency engine I have is 3 of Ravine and the Kamakiris. And I just never draw into these. I even had card destruction here, literally just there to filter my hand, but I never draw into that either. So
I'm kind of...
I mean, it still ended up being like me losing to the misplay of like going into Brandistock, because the right play would have definitely been to go Atlas, but I still do feel
There's
like
also,
I mostly lost to just bad draws.
but I'm thinking if you use Kamakiri to get Atlas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Legionnaire. You could have gone Kamakiri into Icarus Attack, and you could have had Icarus Attack as a potential threat the whole time, because Icarus Attack is honestly the best form of removal against this deck. Because
Kamakiri can't be used for Icarus attack because it's an insect.
yeah, but you can go from Kamakiri into a Wing Beast.
Yeah. I can do that. Yeah.
Because you went into Atlas, which I honestly don't know why.
It was
Did you
mostly
go into
like you're
Atlas?
having like a lot of background. I mean, honestly, I did not expect to go over half of my deck without drawing a single ravine when not also
Yeah.
seeing a single ravine in my first game. So
I mean,
yeah, it
it's
just
actually fucking insane how unlike you were in terms of these draws. I will admit.
yeah. But
Uh,
I mean, this is that's why I was so surprised when you said like you did some playtesting and oh yeah, let me mill my whole thing so you can see like how
for 2 hours.
for 2 hours
There
because
was
it's literally like when I look at these, I'm just like solidarity with Fortress is so humongous and like gadgets and gear frame give you such like insanely like good consistency for your deck.
I'm gonna just take out all the stuff that I didn't play and put them into Banish. I played one copy of Stamping Destruction. I didn't even have this in.
I had one Aqua in my main and another one in the side, which was literally there because it's like if there is solidarity, if there's a solidarity and a fortress on the field, I need to then find a way to either pop solidarity or I need to be able to swing over it by putting it into defense, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, prohibition and just not drawing into shit is.
Yeah. So
quite
the
unfortunate.
final change that I made to the deck
Mhm.
was putting in 3 prohibition. It was like it was the very last thing that I did, and that was when I went like, "Fuck it, we're playing with this," and I called it for the Yu-Gi-Oh section on the stream. That was after 2 hours of playtesting and fucking falling into despair because I felt like there's no way I can out Legionnaire draws every turn. Like, bro, what the fuck?
I guess all
And
my good luck for draws like had been spent in the past, and then today the Yu-Gi-Oh god just decided like, how about we give this dude the worst draws imaginable?
that's so fucked, man.
I'm kind of sad too because like I mean last time it was just like the Blackwing show when like Dragunity was there, and now I was like okay, now I actually get to play Dragunity, and then I just got shafted by draws and didn't get to play Dragunity.
It's especially because this is literally the best iteration you could have played it in, technically. Like in the sense that these are so matched, like pound for pound.
Yeah.
But that's sad. That's so sad. You only played 2 foolish?
Yeah. I had one more in the side, but I figured like I also have like I have other ways of getting stuff, and I can go like if I need to get stuff into circulation, I can go Kamakiri, and then get like the Accolades from circulation that way. And I didn't wanna have my like get my hand to be just full of okay, I'll just set up my grave and then find nothing else to do. Which that was what I got like my game one starting hand. But my game one starting hand, what was it? It was Icarus Attack, Miyabi, 2 Stamp and Destruction, and what was the last card? Was it No, I don't think it was Mirror Force. I remember that like then my next draw, the next turn was the one of Dragon Mastery, which was also pretty funny. But
Dragon Master is so ass. It's actually insane. If it was equip a Dragunity Dragon type monster from your graveyard, it would be, or hand, it would be pretty good, honestly. Like, I would even see a reason why you would want to play it. But the way that it is, I decided that it's just not worth even considering as an option.
it was
Because
for the reason why I decided to go, I mean, it's a one-off. I was like, okay, it's a one-off, but of course I'm gonna draw the one-off. I'm not gonna see my ravines at all. Uh, was literally there for the attack boost, because the problem is that if I don't have other stuff to do with Legionnaire, like after Legionnaire use its effect, like it doesn't really do anything because it can't combat the gadgets. And like having the 500 boost, being able after that Legionnaire being able to not either crash with yellow or not do anything to the gadgets, into being able to actually swing over all of the gadgets, I felt like was valuable enough to throw in the one copy. But I mean, I didn't expect it to be like, okay, of course I'm gonna draw the one-off in a situation where I haven't seen a monster for 3 turns when I'm playing 19.
Yeah.
But that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Be sometimes.
That's how it sometimes goes. Yeah. That's
Is this the only time we see Ravine?
Yeah, this is the only printing of Ravine until like a reprint set, but you get to use it because the Dragunity card.
Yeah, you
so
can
if you play,
you can do it. So like if I'm playing Dragunities, yes, and I'll try to make it work in the future as well, because I think the archetype is just cool. I'm just bummed out that these couple times like it just hasn't worked out for. I mean, last time it was because it was just a mesh of 2 archetypes, so it kind of makes sense. It just ended up being okay. I just drew into all of the Blackwings, and this time it was just like okay, I just both of us played decks where one like has much more consistency, but one has like literally recurring consistency that the other deck can't deal with. But so in theory, like my deck's consistency should be better with Ravine, but then if I never get to Ravine, I'm on the draw. You're constantly filtering out a card out of your deck every turn, which is terrifying. Gadgets are pretty good.
I think because I mentioned this when I started building the list, where I just basically put in 12 gadgets and 3 Machina and 3 Gear Frame. I just said, and Solidarity, this one of ICS. Like this package, one of ICS. I'm pretty sure Solidarity was in that deck, but I'm not 100% on that.
I'm
but
not
like
surprised.
Gadgets, Machina, like Fortress and Gear Frame, that straight up just with XYZs, of course.
Yeah.
But that was enough to top or win either. I don't remember which one it was, to top or win an YCS.
And before
that was
what would
insane.
Was it like? I'm assuming it was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, give or take around that time, like around when early XYZ came out.
Yeah, I think because now we're pretty early in 2011. I think actually, let me check. I'm pretty sure Dragunity was the newer one. I think that was like first quarter of 2011, if I'm not mistaken. It's 8th of March 2011. So it's like still pretty early on in 2011. So it probably would be then like 2011, 2012, and like still for that time, like gadgets are just crazy consistency. So I'm honestly not surprised.
Yeah. I legitimately did not expect this to go this way, even though the reason why I was originally excited about the prospect of playing this deck was, I had gadgets. Like the second deck, actually the third deck that I ever got, like a structure deck, was the Ancient Gear deck, the original Ancient Gear deck.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that had gadgets in it. And I was like, yo, these are cool. I get to normal summon a card and I get to add a card. Surprisingly enough, later on when I started playing Heroes, Stratos does the same thing. Stratos are like my favorite card. It's funny how that works. But yeah, like you normal or special summon these cards and they just infinitely recur cards into your hand. They go 1 for 1 every time. And then later on, they start getting other cards that go like, oh, you have cards in hand? You can use those cards in hand. You can dump them to the graveyard. You can special summon this card. You can overlay these two to get another one. Or you can overlay them to search a better card. And that just feels really satisfying because it feels like this deck had an idea, or these cards had an idea, and they kind of overloaded it for the time. Where not many decks, probably Gravekeepers and Gadgets are the closest to having a full identity on what they're supposed to be doing early on. Yeah, because Gravekeepers have Spy, And Gravekeeper Spy, which spell summons any Gravekeeper from the deck.
Yeah.
And for these, it's just any gadget from the deck. And these just like feel really consistent and satisfying when you get them off, and they get you important pieces, and they can let you recurse it. Important note: this thing in this deck is kind of good.
Oh yeah, true. Because obviously you can just then infinitely recur your gadgets. And also, I think Solidarity is really nice with gadgets. Because normally, like the only problem that you have is like, okay, they're kind of tiny, but suddenly with a single Solidarity, they all become 2K or more beaters, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
neat.
opted to only running 2 of them because I felt like even if I
That's
draw
fair.
3 of them in my opening hand, I would need a like machine monster in the graveyard, which I can't get on turn 1 no matter what happens unless I have like a Machina Fortress and a gadget, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to pitch my first gadget to Machina Fortress no matter what happens, because I just immediately lose out on like any value that the gadgets give to my deck.
Yeah.
So what I should do is just play a gadget and then sit on that, and hopefully the gadget dies. Then I get normal summon another one. I get to add another one. Then I play 3 Solidarity, and now it's basically impenetrable, and I can swing over anything as long as it's not attached to Atlas. Because if it's attached to Atlas, then Atlas can just pop something, and that's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think overall, like out of like all the structure decks that we played, like I think like when I just look at the 2 decks, like I think these might be the closest match. Like I remember there was at least like one earlier that also felt like it was like really close, but I feel like a lot of the time it's been stuff like the Zombie World versus whatever that was against, or then like the like later iterations of the Yugi and Kaiba ones. Actually, wait, those were those starters? Those might have been starters.
yeah, those are
Yeah,
starters.
okay, then yeah, that's my. Let me quickly. What structures have
I
we
remember
done?
we played Rise of the Dragon Lords again, it's like the Macrocosmos deck.
Yeah,
With Dark Emperor.
yeah, that's another one. Like and the Warrior Strike and Spellcaster's Command, like the Spellcaster deck ran out of gas like immediately. The Zombie
Where's the
World
word?
like was obviously like having the infinite cursion there, like you said, the Rise of Dragon Lords, like you can do anything because your stuff is never hitting the grave.
Yeah.
And
For the Spellcaster's Command and Warrior Strike, I think the interesting interaction or interacting chemistry between those was the Warrior Strike that just simply recurred everything that it had.
yeah,
And every single time you had Gearfried in the graveyard, for example, it was actually threatening because holy fuck, if you summon Gearfried now and you just if he's staying on the board, you just get to special summon Gemini for free. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
and he was
yeah,
just big as well. Oh yeah, and then there was also the the Earth versus the Wind thing, where the Wind had like nothing, and the Earth was like, yeah, okay, we have uh, Psycho. Was it Sarco Phoenix? Something like that was the like one tribute 2400 beat that just said like, hey,
yeah.
it just protects your face down stuff basically, and then it had a lot of like powerful face down effects, and some of them were like, okay, you can set this back. It's like I feel like most of these have just been like it's one is just so beyond the power of the other, and I feel like as well now when I'm actually looking at this, I think this honestly was like the first time when these were like very close.
I think with the exclude like starter decks, if you consider those, I think the Joey versus Pegasus one is still by far the closest
That's
we've
the
had
close,
in
yeah.
terms of
If
power
we
level.
include starter decks for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then this is probably the next one because in here this was a real grind game.
yeah.
Like we ended up in a situation where we straight up just went like Drago, Cargo.
Yeah. I say it would have been interesting at least like in one of the games to see like because Dragon Revive obviously like would have done so much because obviously like okay that at least 3 times that gives me okay you go legionnaire equip Aklex from grave and then you have 2 pops and you get to do that 3 turns in a row if you want to as long as you have cards in your hand, and since
Yeah,
you're drawing a card then you can always pitch that. So it's like that obviously would have been like a big swing, but obviously you're also like getting a lot of like value out of gadgets and getting a lot of stuff in your hand, so it would have been interesting to see like now I'm interested to see. Might go back on your VOD and see Twitch.tv/Jeexx, by the way. Might go back on the VOD and actually see like how the hell they like how are there 2 hours of your games that you're doing, and in none of them, you don't end up in a situation where you draw over half of your deck and don't get Ravine, and then here it
So
happens to me twice in a row.
I'm wondering if it's because I played a simulator.
I do
Like
wonder.
when you play in Sims, are there like odds? Or do they have weighted odds? Like in MTG Arena, when you think about it, it feels like you have a like 1 in 3 chance of drawing a land, a non-permanent, or a permanent card,
Mhm.
and that really skews how you draw cards, right?
Yeah,
Because you immediately go like, oh, I have a 1/3 chance of drawing a land, even though my deck has like 18 lands. Okay, that's kind of fucked up, but sure.
yeah.
And then on top of that, like if you have a significantly like lopsided creature and non-creature pool,
Mm.
but you're drawing a ton of your creatures instead of your non-creatures, you're just sitting there annoyed. So I'm wondering if there's a similar thing with like stuff like Ghetto Pro or YGO Pro, where they have weighted odds for you to draw like important cards like field spells. Because
Yeah.
that's what it felt like. Like straight up, I don't think I had a single game that went longer than 3 turns without a single Dragon Ravine. And when I did get Dragon Ravine, it just won the game on the spot.
I mean, yeah,
Because
because
I
it does a lot, and like I mean, it would have been a different story if there was like, let's say, at least a single like way to remove it, like uh, j- three. Okay, like mystical space typhoon would have probably like swung it a bit uh
yeah,
too hard on the Machina deck's favor. But like if there was something like this deck had like Stampede Destruction, like there was something like more like more specific, or maybe something where you have to at least like go, okay, like tributes. I'm not sure if
there
there is
is
a card like that, but like for example, like with, okay, you're getting a lot of the gadgets, like if there was something that, okay, you get rid of one of your gadgets and you can pop something with that, then it would make it like more interesting in that case. But I don't know.
there is one way of removing Dragon Ravine from your opponents on the board with this deck, and it is the way that I won that last game. It's by ramming Machina Fortress into
Yeah, and then
Leviathan
popping it. Yeah.
and then popping it. But at that point, if Leviathan is on the field and Dragon Ravine is on the field, uh, I have to destroy the Leviathan because this is my only out for it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So prioritizing the Dragon Ravine over the Leviathan is like prioritizing the enabler versus like the problem.
Yeah.
So if I don't kill the problem now, it's gonna kill everything that I have. But if I kill the enabler, the problem is gonna kill everything that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
No matter
the
which I choose, it's a losing situation for me.
So you said you weren't playing any Miyabi in testing. How many were you playing off Icarus Attack? Were you playing three?
Two.
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 Okay, yeah, because
Two
what?
Icarus attack. Actually, I can just send you the list.
Because
This is like
I was getting like I was having problems with, which is why I think I had a third Icarus Attack in my side, but I didn't want to side into it, and the problem that I kept running into was also like just since it needs to specifically be a winged beast monster, and obviously I only have Legionnaire and Ducks for that. It's
yeah,
surprisingly rarely live. Obviously, like
it's
preferably you would go something like, okay, you go Ravine, you get Legionnaire, you add Atlas with Legionnaire, you get 2 pops, you use Icarus attack on Legionnaire, and now you have a 4 pops, which is insanely good. But
yeah.
that's kind of the problem, where it just feels like the lifeblood of the deck was just Ravine, and Ravine was like, you needed Ravine to basically do anything, and without it, it was just like, I felt like kid on a bike for the first time without any training wheels.
I think in the future, when we get Fire Fists, you should absolutely play Fire Fists.
And not not draw any way to get into Tenki.
Except every single Fire Fist basically goes into Tinky. Therefore,
I'll find a way. You know, I reap what I sow. Where I first tried to I first draw all the one of outs, and then like I play a deck with like some consistency in there, and then like 3 off Dragon Ravine that like just makes my deck insane. And yeah, it's decently similar. I was playing only one of the, what's the name of this trap? When Storm of the Attack was, I actually I had 3 Legacy of Yedakarasu in my side deck. The reason for it was that Dragunity needed discards, and I also had one or two monster reincarnations in my side, and I figured like if I want to go into those, like I like being able to supply myself with draws, or obviously just having that as discard is nice.
So
And
I basically refined this deck a little bit more
mhm,
after I like this is the version that I play tested against,
yeah,
and this is the version that won for 2 hours straight. And then
gotcha.
after this, uh, Cloudy and I thought a little bit more about how could you make this deck even more impressive to play against.
Hmm.
And we landed on Monster Reincarnation with Dragon Ravine allows you to set up shit in a way where you can pretty much on turn 2 wipe your opponent's board fairly consistently, and then you can just go from there to constantly keep removing, and as long as your opponent has to constantly keep racing you, they'll lose.
Hmm.
Because it's the as long as I don't have Solidarity really, and as long as you have Dragon Ravine up, you can keep going into like alternating between Ducks and Legionnaire, for example.
Yep.
So if my turn is I normal summon Gadget, I normal summon a yellow Gadget, I add a green Gadget, and then it goes to your turn, and you go into Legionnaire, and I set a couple of cards maybe. I set one card. You go into Legionnaire after you're dumping Atlas using something like let's say
Hmm.
Dragon's Ravine. You attach Atlas, you dump the Atlas, you destroy 2 cards, and then your opponent is like, well, I gotta play Green Gadget here. And I play Green Gadget, I swing over the Legionnaire after I add a Red Gadget. Then you can just go into Dux next turn.
Hmm.
And now Dux is 1.9k. And
Yep.
now Dux is bigger than every gadget you can have. And even bigger than Gear Frame.
Yeah.
So now you summon Dux, you attach Atlas, you swing over the gadget, and then your opponent's turn comes around. They still have like three 2 cards in hand. And they summon Gadget again. They add a card. They can't do shit with that. Let's say they have Machina now. They can send Machina to the graveyard. Machina Fortress to the graveyard with another card that they might have in hand. They summon Machina Fortress. Now they have 0 cards set. They have 1 card in hand. They have a Machina Fortress on the board and a Gadget on the board. And you just, if you happen to have an Acre's Attack, for example, let's GG.
Yeah. The
Or a Bottomless, or a Mirror Force, or even an Itakwa, right?
yeah. But yeah, the like I didn't end up playing. I didn't really even consider armed dragons because if there was 7, I might have considered. But like the problem with 5 was like the it being like you having to pitch stuff and then popping stuff that is smaller than it. Basically mean like okay, yeah, Leviathan you can get from Grey, which is nice, but it basically just means I need specifically Leviathan to make really any views out of it to get the pops that I actually care about because it's decently big
Yeah.
itself. So I didn't like figure. I figured it wasn't like worth enough because of that, and I didn't end up playing creature swap because I was like thinking I basically don't care about creature swapping anything else but fortress. But even fortress, like if fortress gets popped, then it goes to your grave and you get the pop from it. Like it getting destroyed. Like something if there's a case where like for example I take your fortress, you get to another fortress which you can get to relatively easily, and you crash the fortresses, then obviously okay, it's 2 fortresses in your grave, but you also get 2 pops with that, and I feel like the
Yeah.
creature swap doesn't really gain enough for me. So I think I had a couple of them in my side, but I didn't really consider them
That
that
came
heavily.
up in testing.
Oh yeah.
Exactly the situation where I was like, oh shit, I only have 2 cards in hand and I don't have any Legionnaires left. How the fuck am I gonna win this? And then I drew a creature swap against a Machina Fortress with like Ducks in hand. I was like, oh okay, that's how I beat.
Hmm. But yeah,
And then
the
because you swing over the Ducks that has the Atlas equipped, for example, and because the Ducks goes into your graveyard and Atlas goes into your graveyard, you pop a card down your opponent's side of the field.
yeah. Yeah,
So
the reason why I did consider like uh much reincarnation was because like okay, if you have Ravine, like your like the Legionnaire Atlas play obviously is an incredibly powerful one, and then like at that point, like when you have all your Legionnaires in rotation, where you would like otherwise be pitching for Dragon Ravine to get more of Legionnaires, it basically just works as a okay, one time Ravine, where now okay, I pitch something, I get Legionnaire back in my hand, and I get another turn of this, and it's basically like it's the like Legionnaire Atlas like spam is just it's so oppressive, especially like for like the format like this, or for the time, like I felt like that would be really good, which is why I had the reincarnations in my grave. But since the game one went how it went, like I didn't really feel comfortable really citing anything, because it was hard to say like, okay, what, like, was there actually a problem here, or was it just, bad
I don't
rules?
think there was really an issue with the list itself. I feel like it was just you got extremely unlucky not drawing into ravine.
Yeah,
Straight up.
that's
Considering you filtered out so many cards. Like you were saying at one point, you're going through your deck faster than I am, and you had less cards in your deck than I did.
I had there was one of those situations when I pointed that out. I had 23 and you had 20, but obviously you had one more card as well, so it wasn't like you were literally like 2 cards ahead of me. And like when the game ended, I had 19 cards in my deck, and I think I checked, and I think like I go back on the footage, but I think like Ravine was like the 3rd card from the top, so I would have had to draw 24 out of the 40 cards in my deck to get to my first Ravine, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. That's also something that the card destruction is something that kind of came up when Claudia and I were talking about how the Dragunity deck could be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And we were considering that, well, the Machina player is going to want Machina Fortress in the graveyard as well. So you don't really want to draw card destruction, right? Because you're just going to give them card destruction and it'll dump the Machina and you get to like fetch 5 new card hand or 5 new cards and then you get to pitch for the Machina.
Yeah.
But you have to pitch 2 cards from hand to summon 1 card from the graveyard still. And it's still not a great deal. Whereas when it's in hand, you pitch the Machina Fortress and another card like a Cyber Valley, and you summon a Machina Fortress for the price of 1 card.
Yeah.
And that's infinitely better. So I feel like 2 copies of card destruction would have, like, you just dump your entire hand twice. And it's like, oh, I drew 10 cards.
That's actually pretty funny, because I think like I said, I had like an initial version of this, and then like this, which I ended up playing. The initial version had 2 card destruction in the main deck, and then I ended up putting one of them into the side instead. For I think it was actually for Atagua, because when I was just like thinking, I was just like Fortress with a single solidarity is just such a bitch, and I have the one of Dragon Mastery, so I was just like, okay, Windsor of Atagua can work to help me deal with Fortress. Obviously, then I need to beat over it. You still get the pop, but at least like with Solidarity, it's so much damage every turn that I need to deal with it regardless. So it's probably worth. And then also I figured like if there is a situation where you get like multiple gadgets on the board, like I can also use attack with sort of by a turn in terms of damage, where if you have like 2-3 gadgets on the board, which wasn't like out of the realm of possibility. And well, here it ended up happening multiple times. It was like something like, okay, I'll buy a turn and save like 3k or so life points. So I think like that's the idea. The idea for me mostly, there was the thing like, okay, card destruction is there for consistency for me, but at the same time, like you said, you getting forces on the in the grave is also not great for me. But like you said, like you having to then discard 2 gadgets to get it is still fine. But I ended up weighing it in the direction of I'd rather have an Ataqua than a second copy of card destruction, which it maybe could have made a difference. But well, I didn't draw my card destruction or my Ataqua once, so if it was just the one of them was a copy of the other one, then I guess that way it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I was about to ask if in the first game, if you had a Takwa set and me calling a Takwa with prohibition mattered.
I think what I had said was Icarus attack. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% positive, because like my opening hand was Icarus attack, Miyabi, 2 Stampede Destruction, and then a card that I don't remember anymore. But I remember using the Miyabi, and I'm like 90% sure that my set card was Icarus attack.
No, go.
I can check after we stop recording, but I'm pretty sure that it was Icarus attack.
Yep, sounds good.
But yeah, we had a long post game talk. My recording after sighting seems to be at almost 56 minutes. That's pretty funny. But hey, if you listened all the way here, then shout outs to you. That's sick. But yeah. sometimes things go this way, and that's how it goes. I feel like I've usually been the one on the receiving end, like the receiving end of having like insanely good RNG. So sometimes I feel like it's good for me to get humbled and be like, hey, dude, you can also draw bad.
I feel like I would rather have it where both players draw good instead of one player
Yes,
drawing good.
I very much would agree. Like, I would rather have us have, consistent draws with both of us so we can actually see what the decks we've constructed can do instead of being like, okay, you drew the nuts and you drew the shit and nothing that you're playing matters because this one dude drew in his opening hand all 5 pieces of Exodia. And it's just like, wow, that's fucking insane and super fun gameplay. So I definitely agree with that, but it's a game of chance, and sometimes it goes like this. What is this?
Yo, this is
just put it on real quick.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
Legacy of the Duelist. Just came out today. I've been playing it a bit. It's pretty goddamn fucking fantastic, especially if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the best Yu-Gi-Oh! The early gen Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you can actually do the whole story that
Don't tell me the
followed.
opponent
So I actually just
gets 5 pieces
finished
of Exodia.
fucking Duelist
This has
Island. or Duelist
5.2
Kingdom,
million
whatever the fuck it
views.
was. I
This is
beat
gonna be
Pegasus.
some bullshit.
So now I'm in the Battle City, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of this fucker right here. It's always better to go second because you can't attack on your first turn.
I love
All
this
right,
clip.
fucking that's
That's
great.
2 pot.
What?
I love this
Are you
clip.
fucking kidding me? Out of this fucker right here.
It's always better to go second because you can't attack on your first.
I fucking love it.
And I'm gonna beat the shit out of
I
this
love
fucker right
it.
here.
I'm going to beat the shit
It's
out
always
of
better to
this
go second 'cause
fucker.
you can't
It's always
attack on
better
your
to go
first turn.
second because
Alright,
you can
fucking-
attack on
that's
your
great.
first turn into pot of green, into pot of green, into all 5 pieces of Exodia, and the video just ends.
What the fuck?
This,
Are you fucking kidding?
this is cinema. This is
That's
cinema
Kino.
right there.
This is what the children call Kino.
That's beautiful. But
You
yeah,
never seen this clip?
know.
Damn, that's impressive.
I might have some, but I just don't remember. But I don't think so. Like if I had to say, like I don't think so. I feel like I would have remembered, but my memory is terrible, so that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities that I just forget. But yeah,
Understand.
thanks for watching today, and next time we're gonna be back with whichever set we're doing. Is it dual?
I think it's
Terminal?
Extreme Victories?
Actually, yeah, I can. Oh wait, I can do this. Let me check. One last thing we can do, we can check, but we're only a few more episodes before we get to the XC. So yeah, next time is gonna be Dual Terminal 4. And after that, we have Extreme Victories. Then we have the final Duelist packs for this, being USA 3 and a Crow. And then we enter the Exist era,
Oh,
which
boy.
is kind of crazy. Like, from this point, like the day we're recording this is gonna be like literally a month, and then we're in the Exist era. Scary stuff.
It's terrifying. That's
It is.
terrifying.
It is terrifying, but yeah. We've been here for an hour now. Usually, most of our when do like this, we do some and then other stuff off the tape. But if you are somehow here, type meatballs in the comment section so I know. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
shout out to you and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So have a good rest of your day and peace.